Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the shed to house build out here at St. Bernard Acres. I got all kinds of projects at St. Bernard Acres. But I'm going to be working on the house today. Yesterday I got all the mowing done, the yard cleaned up and blah 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 blah. I ran over my fiber optic cable, so I have no internet. They can't come out till next week to replace that. But I'm going to be working anyway. So what is on the agenda for today is framing in another window. I'm going to be framing in another window over here across from the one on that side and putting a slider window in where the sink is going to be. Gail wants a sliding window over the sink in the kitchen area. So that's part one of today, and the other thing I would like to do is get the service panel installed and electric receptacle, the boxes in place for switches and lights and plugs, all those kind of things, so that I can start wiring. Don't know that I'll start the wiring today, but I should get all the boxes in place and get the service panel, the breaker box in place. So that's what I'm hoping to accomplish today. I will get the windows framed in. I'm not going to cut out the holes. I want to wait till I have some help, because putting the windows on the outside is going to be a pain in the butt. Especially, they're up higher than in the front over here because of the slope of the land. And Gary commented on another video, he'd be out here next weekend to help me put these windows in. So I'll go ahead and get everything framed in, get it ready just to cut out the hole, stick the window in. See if we can make it easy. Then maybe next week he can help run wire everywhere. But yeah, that's it. I gotta clean up in here. I gotta get some, from the previous work, it's time to clean up first. So I'll spend a minute refreshing people what's going on inside here and showing them what I've got done and explaining the future plans, and then I'll get to work. But this is a 16 by 32 shed that everybody sees on the side of the road there, rent-to-own things. I ordered it with no windows and just 2 rough openings for doors, because I already had everything. I have my windows, I have my doors, I have all that kind of stuff. This 32-foot section is going to house a little pantry area that I built up front. A mud room, if you will, where all the dog stuff can be, in a place where if they come in from outside and it's snowing or rain, they're muddy, they can stay in there until they get cleaned up or dried off. And then the rest of this is going to be kitchen area and living room. It's just one big room that we will share. And then I'm going to add a 24-foot extension onto this, which will house, there'll be a hallway here. This will cut through to a hallway. There'll be a bathroom on one side, laundry room and closet on one side for 8 feet. And then at the end of that will be a 16 by 16 bedroom. So it's going to be 1 bedroom, 1 bath. It's going to wind up being 16 feet by 56 feet. Originally, I was going to build it all, but I'm tired. This gives me a good base to start with, and then just simply building the addition onto it. So it should be easier on me that way. And it's taking so long for me to get the money together to buy all the material for everything. This was a great deal and a great place to start. And I will have a place if I want. If I don't want to stay in the cabin, I have this. You know, I can put a bigger bed in the living room area temporarily. But it allows me to really pick up the pace here and get this stuff built. So that's the plan here. Let me get to work cleaning up and everything. Getting everything staged, getting everything ready, because I don't like to leave junk laying around. I don't like to leave tools like once I finish a project, I like to put things up, clean up somewhat. That way, the next day when I get ready to go to work, I get my tools out. I think it comes from when I didn't live out here, and everything had to be put in the truck. To get here, I had to unload the truck. When I home, I have to put everything into the truck, so I'm still kind of like that. But what these three 2x4s are for is the other studs that have to go in, and the 2 jack studs. That's what I'm going to cut out of these. I have to find 3 decent 10-foot 2x4s. I didn't need that, but most of what's left of the 8-footers is like firewood. So I need 2 of these at 73 1/4 inches. That's my jack studs. These are pretty close to being firewood. So real quick, what I've done here, don't mind this, because you see the light coming through, all this is getting cut out anyway. So I wasn't concerned about that. This is a 32 by 48 window. When you buy a window and it's 32 by 48, that's the rough opening size that they want. 32 inches by 48 inches. So what I've had to do, this is a double 2x4 header. Again, up to 36 inches, code allows a 2x4. Everybody says you gotta have 2x6s, you gotta have 2x6s. You don't. And what this header does, the reason why you have to have that header is these studs all support the weight of the roof. So everything is coming down. Well, you put the header up here because that takes that load from the roof, transfers it to this jack stud, and sends it down to the bottom plate. You want this in here because as load gets on the roof, you don't want it pushing weight down on your window, for one, because it's going to mess up your windows, it's not going to open and close properly. So you have to transfer the weight. Because it's 32 inches inside is what it wants, the studs 16 inches on center, that doesn't line up. I used this stud to start with. I added a jack stud. I added another jack stud. I added a king stud. So that all this weight is being transferred down to the bottom plate. These are called cripple studs. 2 at the bottom, 2 at the top. They're going to support the window, is what it's going to do. My window fits in there perfectly. There's room to get it adjusted to where it's perfectly level, perfectly square, and it's going to get installed obviously from the outside. But I know now, when I cut this out, I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to put flashing tape here on this sill plate. This is the sill plate, top plate. Sill plate gets flashing on. It's going to run up about 6-8 inches on each side. If any water happens to get behind there or moisture, it will hit that tape and go outside and not rot the wood out. And then obviously it's going to get caulked all the way around on the outside before I put this flashing up against it. This is flange. This is the nailing flange. Right, so caulking is going to go around the whole thing. Then it will go up against the house, and then that was kind of bent, but it's vinyl, heavy vinyl. And then I'll nail all the way around it so everything is sealed and watertight and square, and it will open and close properly. That's how quickly you can frame in a window. Next week when Gary's out here, I will cut this out. We'll stick the window in, and voila, that one will be done. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'm not going to film doing the other one because I'm going to be doing exactly the same thing. Now you noticed I pre-cut everything. I went ahead, instead of going back and forth to the saw, and I measured everything out. I pre-cut everything I needed. Unfortunately, I pre-cut 2 cripple studs. Not thinking about the fact I was going to leave those there, but had I just gone ahead and pulled both of these were full studs. If I just pulled both of those out, I'd have had cripple studs to nail in at the bottom and cripple studs at the top. I don't like doing that, especially when you run across the seam in your siding. So all the nails and seal, everything is still secure on the siding. Like I said, all that's going to get cut out. Every time you add a window to one of these buildings, it's happened to me every time. Both of those windows over there, the windows in Alex's building, somehow you hit a seam. You have 4 feet to work with. Now, this stud did not hit a seam. This stud would not have hit a seam. If I wanted to measure over 4 feet, blah, 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 I could have done it, but these two are not even hit the seam. But I need, for aesthetic purposes, you know, everything has to look good. So that's the end of roughing in the window frame. Remember to like, share, comment, do all those kind of things. Give me advice. If you'd have done it differently, let me know, but that's the easy part. Appreciate y'all watching. I'm out. Now I gotta clean up my mess. Well, no. Now I gotta start on the next one.